Hello everyone. In this video, we will be talking about how to create a master detail relationship between two objects. In our example, we will be using two custom objects. So I've simply gone into setup, entered object manager, and I've created a new object, new custom object called supplier instance. If you may recall from our previous videos, we already have another custom object called supplier. Now this is another custom object called supplier instance. So the use case is, or our business scenario is that we have a lot of people that we buy from. So our business buys from a lot of suppliers and we buy a lot of things from those suppliers. So for example, IBM, International Business Machine, is my supplier. I buy stuff from them in order to sell to my customers or sell at my store. So IBM will be my supplier. I'm going to create a supplier record for IBM. Now I may buy a lot of things from them. I may give them an order of 100 computers, and then next month I may give them an order of 200 server stations. So I need to record that data, right? And the month after that, I may give them another order or 500 other computers or machines, right? I need to store that information and also need to know which supplier I bought it from, right? So we will use our supplier instance object to record that data. Of this object will record data of the products or of the equipment that we're buying from the suppliers or from IBM in our scenario, right? So simply we come into our custom object, we go into fields and relationships, and we're going to click new. Now, always note that the relationship that you're going to create, you're going to be creating that on your child object. So the object that you want to be your child object or your detail object, that's where you're going to be creating the relationship, because it's the relationship is basically a field. So when you click on new, you're going to come over here and you're going to create either a lookup relationship field or a master detail relationship field. You may be wondering what external lookup relationship is, but for now it's not relevant. It's a relationship when you're trying to connect your Salesforce with an external object or an external software system. That's where this may come in handy, but for now it's not relevant, so we're only going to be focusing on these two. So so you can either create a lookup or a master detail relationship field, right? So now when you create this field, you'll create it on your child object, and then in this field, you will populate the name of your parent record or your parent object's record to create an association between them, right? So in our scenario, let's say that we need it to be a master detail relationship because a supplier instance record should not exist without a supplier. So if we're buying 500 computers, we should know who we're buying from. We if we have a supplier, only then will we be able to place an order to them for 500 computers, right? So this is a tightly coupled relationship where a supplier instance will always be associated to a supplier so that we know, okay, we are placing an order for 500 computers and who is our supplier? Okay, IBM is our supplier. So we should know that. So, and we can also order more than one kind of equipment from them. We can place in 6 different kind of orders to them for 6 different things, right? So we would create 6 different supplier instance records, and they will all be associated to the same supplier. So that's a one-to-many relationship as well. So simply, I'm going to click on master detail. I'm going to click next. Okay, and there it's asking which object should I relate this to? It's going to show me all the objects we have in Salesforce. I'm going to search for suppliers and right here. So as you can see, the supplier object, this is our custom object. I'm going to click next. It's going to automatically populate the name. So the field label is supplier. We can edit that if we want. And it's going to auto populate both of these. These are editable. For now, I'm just going to leave this as is. because the name is completely fine. We can add a description or help text, and everything else is the same standard thing. And lookup filters. So this is something we're gonna get to later. So for now, you can just leave this as is and click next. We want this to be visible to everyone, and since it's the master detail, so your so there's so this is another thing. Since master detail is a tightly coupled relationship, the security settings are also same for both the master and the detail. So right now the security settings will be inherited from our master object, which is supplier. So in our supplier object, we had given made it to be visible to everyone in our company or our organization. So when we're creating a child object, it'll automatically be visible to everyone as well. So we cannot edit that. There are ways to edit that, but those are related to data security modules. So you may find a video for that later. And since since this field, the master detail field, is a required field because you need to have a supplier's name entered in this field in order to create a supplier instance record, this field will automatically be put into the page layout. You cannot remove it from the page layout because it's a required field. You always have to fill out information in this field, so it will be put on the page layout automatically. I cannot remove it from here. Next. And this is also going to add a related list. So if you guys remember in one of our previous videos, I showed you how when you open an account record and if you go into related tab, you'll be able to see its related object, the object it has a relationship with, such as contacts. So this is basically doing that. So when you go into a supplier record and click on the related tab, you'll be able to see the supplier instance records over there as well. We're going to get to this, so don't worry about it. Let's simply click save. And right here, you can see supplier, data type, master detail supplier. So our master detail relationship is now, creation is complete. Now let's try it out. So we're going to go back to our YOL Academy app or simply any app that we'd like, and we can simply search for supplier. You can see both objects over here. So for now, I'm going to go into suppliers. Or first, let's go into supplier instance. I might have to refresh the page. For now, let me just open supplier. Okay, right here. So I'm going to hit refresh. And let's just say, oh, so we already have a lot of records created. So let's just say if I go to Verizon and I have all the information over here. Now if I go into related, it's right here. I can see supplier instance. I can create a supplier instance from here. I can give it a name. Let's just say instance 1, 200 machines or something, right? We can create as many fields over here to note down more information. As you guys know how to do that, you can feel free to do that. Create your own custom object, create as many fields, and create a master detail relationship and see if that works. Right now, I'm just going to give it a name and just write down 200 machines in the name. I could have more fields to store that information, but just for the sake of this video, I'm just going to leave this as is. And you can see the supplier field is auto-populated with Verizon because we are on our Verizon supplier record and we're creating a new supplier instance. So it's automatically associating with Verizon. We can change that, but please note that once I change that, and if I save it as Viato Corp, or whichever field I save it as. Let's just say I'm saving it as a Viato Corp. Once I save it, I cannot go back and edit it. Now it will be completely tight, completely unchangeable. It's going to be associated with a Viato Corp, and I cannot go back and change it, right? So in our case, I just want to keep it associated with supplier, Verizon, and right here. So you can see we have our supplier instance record created. Now if I go on to edit, as you can see, I cannot edit the supplier name. Now it's going to stay there for as long as it is. I can only delete the record, but I cannot edit it. And our supplier instance one, our name, we can still edit our name if we want, but we don't really want to do that. So we're just going to leave it as is. So that's basically a master detail relationship. If you want to see this instance, you can see it right here. And this is our parent. And as you can see, there is no pencil icon and I cannot edit it out. So that's our master detail. This is the detail record. The supplier instance is our detail record. And the supplier, Verizon, if I go back, is our master. So this is the parent and this is a child. So let's say I want to create another one. Since it's a one-to-many, let's say I want to give another order. I'd say instance 2. I can give it any name that I want. Let's just say 50 computers, right? And still associated with the same supplier. Now we have two different supplier instances, one for 200 machines, another for 50 computers, right? So we can have as many as we want. We can have more fields into them to store more data. That's all up to us, right? That's how a master detail relationship works. I hope that all makes sense. That'll be all. Thank you.